Flight camera 1.
Quick slant out. And another incomplete pass intended there to number 2, Jake Kenner.
Yeah, if you're the Eagles, you have to get up on this defensive play and force the quarterback to make an error.
Excellent. You got the ball in. Nicely done. 33. Go to 3.
By Bell. Bell breaks 2 tackles.
It's all you 3.
Bell's
Nicely
out.
done.
Oh, he should have stayed
Stay there.
Flag.
Keep balling them back 3.
We're going to read the roster for the players. Number 1, Deuce Calhoun. Number 2, Blake Farley. Number 4, Blake Mitchell. Number 6, Lennon Maddox. Number 8, Adam Moore. Number 9, Nolan Evans. Number 11, Cooper Murdoch. Number 15, Luke Howe. Number 17, Benjamin Nelson. Number 18, Camden Long. Number 19, Conley Hill. Number 21, Caden Bates. Number 23, Benton Robertson. Number 25, Ryan Kenny. Number 27, Logan Halbert. Number 34, Carter Mullins. Number 36, Adam Mahaffey. Number 41, Parker Yard. Number 57, Ricky Harmer. Number 68, Max Pierce. Now if we could have everybody stand and face the north end zone for the national anthem.
Right on.
And a long outside handoff. Looks like it's going to go to maybe number 8, Adam Morab. So it was no gain on the play for Springboro. So they're going to come back here for the 2nd down and 10. Snap is going to go, and it looks like the quarterback is going to keep it right up the middle. Cooper Murdoch with the carry there. And it's just so funny to see how these kids bounce up and run right back to the coach. So it's going to be 3rd and about 7 here for Springboro. Quarterback's going to roll to the right, and Murdoch is going to keep it. Blockers out in front of him. One gets through, but Murdoch cuts it cuts it back in, and he will be right at the first down marker. And the right, and the patience to just let the blockers get out in front, you see here in the replay.
And then was able to sneak forward for a first down.
So Springboro picks up first down there, and they keep the drive alive at the 45. Quarterback's going to hand it off. Murdoch hands it off, and he's going to cut in. Look at that move. Stiff arms the defender into the ground. Number 1, Deuce Calhoun with the carry there for the Panthers.
What a name, Deuce Calhoun. That's a good one.
Seems like a good running back name. I mean, that was an excellent stiff arm. He just put the defender right in the turf.
Yeah, good toughness by the young guy.
For about a gain of a long 2 on that play. So it's going to be second and about 8. Now you're going to see Murdoch's going to go in shotgun formation here. And Murdoch is going to run to the right. He lets the blockers get out in front of him, and he gets about a gain of 3 or 4 on the play, but there's a flag on the play.
That was a really, really nice, that was really good vision there by Cooper. For a minute, it looked like he was going to take the outside lane, and then last second he cuts inside, and is able to pick up about 5 yards.
And that was a holding penalty against Springboro, so they're going to back up to the 40. So it's going to be about 2nd and 15. But Murdoch, just the way he has the ability to just sit there and let the holes develop.
Yeah, great patience for such a young runner.
And he's going to line up in shotgun again with 2 running backs to his left. And he is going to hand it off to Deuce Calhoun. Deuce Calhoun with a cutback, and he is tackled maybe for a gain of 1.
Aiden Ashcraft there on the
tackle for the Wilmington. So it's going to be 3rd and about 14 here for the Springboro White team.
Deuce Calhoun has really been running hard these first couple minutes of the game. Really nice to see from such a young running back.
And now let's see what kind of play call the Springboro coaching staff calls for 3rd and 14. And Murdoch is going to run to the right. He's going to let the blockers get out in front of him. Stiff arms 1. He's going to reverse field and go back the other way when there's nobody for Wilmington on that side.
Looks like there's one guy to beat.
And he is, what a closing tackle there for Wilmington. I cannot see who that was. Maybe it was number 13, Cameron Evans. Actually, number 21, Malachi Nance with a tackle. Watch this closing speed tackle here in the replay.
Yeah, it's really, really good. They did a very good job of containing the offense on that play. He was able to get to the outside on one side. They weren't able to get him, and when he cuts back, he still wasn't able to pick up any yards.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Wilmington at the 35.
And now for the first time we get to see
the Wilmington Bantam Orange division or team.
Single back formation.
And it looks like the quarterback's going to run it right up the middle, and I don't think he gains anything. It was number 6, Joseph Bennett, with the carry there for the Wilmington.
And early here, it looks like it's going to be a battle of the defenses. So far, we got some pretty stout defensive fronts.
We approach 4.5 minutes left here in the Bantam division for the WOJFC Super Bowl. Bennett's going to go under center. He's going to hand it off and tackled immediately in the backfield by the Panthers. Aiden Ashcraft, sorry, the carry there.
And this Springboro defense early has not allowed anything. If you're Wilmington, you got to hope that you guys can lay a couple of better blocks, be able to find some room, be able to make some plays.
Now it's going to be 3rd and about 12, 13 here for Wilmington. And it's going to be a pitch out to the outside. Flag comes in, and he gets back to the 35, the original line of scrimmage. That was Ashcraft with the carry for the Hurricanes.
And Wilmington, they have just struggled here early because the Panthers are just not allowing anything. Ashcraft looked like he was going to be able to find some room there, but just the Panthers, they close so quickly.
And it's going to be an illegal shift against Wilmington, and I think they declined. So it's going to be 4th and 11 for the Hurricanes.
You really don't want to see a early 4th and long. And Wilmington has decided that they are going to punt the ball away, so that means that the ball is going to go to the opposite 35, and Springboro is going to take over possession.
Just about 2:50 left here in the first quarter of the Bantam division for the Super Bowl for WOJFC. So Springboro getting ready to take over for their second possession. And Springboro looked strong on that first one. Just a holding penalty really stalled their drive.
For sure, Jared. You got to be a little more disciplined, but you got to remember we are talking about very, very little kids here.
Right. Bantam is a combined 2nd and 3rd grade division, so
you got to think that these kids are happy just to be out here playing some football. But competing in their level of a Super Bowl, got to be exhilarating for the young guys. Murdoch is going to take the snap, hand it off to Deuce.
Deuce makes one cut, and he made an excellent cut to the left.
After making a defender miss, he's going to be taken down for about 4 yards.
That was 33, Jackson Manning with the tackle for Wilmington.
And as you see on the instant replay, just got that little cut, boom. He's able to pick up about 4 yards on a nice strong play by the offense. Murdoch is going to take the snap. He's going to keep this one. He's looking for a place to run. Turns back, and then is hit.
Murdoch. And he'll be down to about the 45, so about a gain of 2 on that. So it'll be 3rd and 5 here for the Panthers. So 3rd and 5 here for the Panthers. You would think that maybe the coaching staff would move up a little bit so Springboro doesn't have to run 30 yards backwards to huddle up.
I know. That's quite a little sprint for the young guys.
They're going to be tired by the time they get up for this 3rd down play. Murdoch's going to go. He's going to hand it off to Deuce Calhoun. He cuts it to the right side of his block. He cuts it out again, and he's trying to make it for the 1st down. I think forward progress should give him the 50.
I'm not sure, though, where the refs are currently standing.
The refs, that looks like it's a bad spot.
Looks like they're going to place him a little short. So is that going to be 4th and inches?
That's going to be 4th and a long 1, it looks like. And you see here in the replay, it looks like he's across the 50 there. And the tackle momentum brought him back. So
Yeah.
that's a bad spot by the refs.
It's good takedown by Jackson Reed. Or Braxton Reed, I'm sorry. Not letting him get the yard to gain.
And that is how the end of the first quarter of our Bantam WOJFC Super Bowl championship game will end. Both teams tied at 0, but Springboro has a 4th and inches here looking at him. And calling it this early in the game, this could be the play of the game.
For sure, Jared. It's definitely a crucial moment. And as you see on the replay one more time, you see he cuts out.
And then he cuts back in, and the ball crosses the 50 right there.
Yeah, that's definitely a poor spot by
and I
our
want to know
reffing crew.
What is that ref looking at? He was right there on top of it.
Not too sure, Jared. But regardless, a good stop by Wilmington.
So here we're getting ready to start the second quarter. Here's Springboro's fans trying to pump up the offense here, rumbling the stadium below us. 4th and inches here from the 49.
And now it's starting to get loud in here, Jared.
The coaching staff trying to pump it up. Both teams. Murdoch under center and a fall, and that's going to be an offsides on Wilmington. And what an excellent silent count by Murdoch.
Very, very good job by the young quarterback and his entire offense, to be honest, because it's very hard as a young player to just sit there and see a guy coming right at you and not flinch. And, you know, they just knew we're trying to draw him off on this play, and they stayed disciplined.
Right.
And as you can see, number 21 jumps off sides. That's Malik Nance.
What a play by second or third grade. I mean, just the confidence to go in there and just silent count them and get them to jump like that.
That's a pro move, Jared.
Now Murdoch's going to hand off to Deuce Calhoun. He cuts it back in and gets down to about the 42.
You know, watching Deuce Calhoun run is really fun, man. He doesn't go down after first contact, and he's really good at finding holes in the defense.
I know. Can't wait to watch him get up to the high school level.
Oh, that's going to be
here
fun,
in
Jared.
A handful of years. It's going to be 2nd and about 6 on the play. Almost a gain of 4 on that for Deuce Calhoun.
And that's really what I'm saying, Jared. Like, he got hit, like, right at the line of scrimmage and then stumbled forward for 4 yards. We talked about that in college and high school and in the pros and how that's such a useful skill. And we see a second grader, first grader down here using it. Murdoch is going to fumble on the snap.
And that's lucky that the ball bounced right back up into Murdoch's hands.
For sure.
And that's going to be a loss of about 1 on the play.
The longest drive of the game so far. And if you're Springboro, you don't want to give away this opportunity. For the first time of the game, you're on the opponent's side of the field.
Murdoch's going to hand it off to Calhoun. Calhoun's going to run to the right side of the field. He has the edge. He'll have a first down. Stays in bounds and bursts through the 30, and they're actually going to call him out at the 30.
What a great run by Deuce Calhoun, man. I know we've talked about him a lot here early, but he's so explosive for such a little frame.
And shout out to the offensive line for getting him to sealing the blocks on the edge to get him out to the edge to run for about a gain of 16.
For sure, Jared. You build your teams from the offensive and the defensive line, and so far they've done a good job on both ends, the Springboro Panthers.
Now they're going to come out 1st and 10 here at the 30. as we approach 8.5 minutes left in the first half of the Bantam WOJFC Super Bowl here in Rousch Stadium in Kettering, Ohio. And Murdoch's going to fake the handoff to Calhoun, and he's going to roll to the left. Murdoch evades 3 defenders, and what a shoelace tackle there by number 2, Benson Harpin.
And Murdoch able to get the edge and pick up about 5 yards.
But what a tackle there. We'll watch it at the end of this. But watch Harpin's tackle here, number 2 for the Wilmington.
If he doesn't get him, Jared, I'm not sure if anyone does.
And he just gets his hand right on the foot to trip him up a little bit. And 2 very disciplined teams coming in. I mean, that's you're taught to stay home. And that's a key game or key thing in high school football. And these 2nd and 3rd graders are staying home and watching it.
Executing at a very high level here early in the game, Jared. Murdoch is going to take the snap, hand off to Deuce. Deuce cuts right up the middle and is going to pick up 5.
And Calhoun will be right at the first down marker. Let's see what the refs say, and they're going to give him the first down.
This young guy has the makings to be a workhorse high school back.
And Springboro driving with all momentum on their side so far here, about almost midway through the first half. Calhoun's going to get the carry. He's going to cut it out, and he is going to be tackled at about the 16, so about a gain of 3 on the play.
Good stop there by Wilmington, because if Deuce is able to find the outside, he's gonna take that one to the house. And you watch here on the replay.
I was waiting for him to cut out to the right more.
If number 32 doesn't make that tackle, or if Deuce makes a jump cut outside, that's a touchdown. So great tackle by Raylan Goins.
The timeout on the field. Here, Springboro is going to have a 2nd and about 6 with 6:40 left in the second quarter here of the WOJFC Bantam Super Bowl. And Springboro, between Murdoch, the combination of Murdoch and Calhoun running the ball, that's where all their offenses come from so far this game.
Definitely, Jared. They haven't attempted a pass yet. They've had a couple different plays where they've had wide receivers out there, but to be honest, I just think it's for the bait. Where Murdoch and Calhoun, they've been executing very well in the backfield.
And we saw that in our first game for the 6th grade Super Bowl between Springfield and Meadowdale. There was a very few limited number of passes, as it seems like it's a lot of running-focused teams.
Well, being so young, Jared, it's hard to get the chemistry down, and for all these young players to be able to pick up the playbook in the game. So
Murdoch, look at Murdoch's going to get tackled for a loss of about 3.
That was one of the first plays that was not successful. And Aiden Ashcraft and Braxton Reed were in there together on the tackle.
So a loss of about 2, so it'll be 3rd and 8 here for Springboro. And I think that's, like you said, the worst play for Springboro so far this game.
But if you're Wilmington, now it's time to make your stand. 3rd and about 8.
And Calhoun's going to get the carry, and Calhoun runs right into the teeth of the D. Oh, he broke the tackle.
Calhoun bounces it to the outside, makes a juke.
Calhoun will be close to the first down. It looks like it's about a yard short from our vantage point. But what about Deuce Calhoun? We'll take a look at this replay.
This kid has been so impressive early, Jared. Just the footwork and the patience as a running back. And just look, he says, I'm not going down. Breaks a couple of tackles.
He just Marshawn Lynch stiff-armed him and cuts it out for about a gain of 7.
We're talking about a 2nd grader here, Jared.
And he just put the defense. He was wrapped up. His arms were pinned against him, and he pushed him off. And Springboro, I think, takes a timeout. And they look like they're going to go for it on 4th and 1. Or, well, 4th and inches.
Well, last time they had a 4th and inches, they were able to draw the defense offside. So maybe we try the same thing. Maybe, you know, they actually run the play this time. But really good execution by Springboro.
Now some confusion, it looks like, between which players you want on the field. So out of the Springboro timeout, 4th and inches here. The ball's inside the 11. You got to get to the 10. And let's see if Murdoch can do that silent count again to draw the Hurricanes off sides.
And it's starting to get it's starting to get kind of loud in here again.
Murdoch's going to get the carry. He's going to run right up the middle. And he's at
keep
the
it.
5. He's going to keep it and get down to about the 2.
And Cooper Murdoch, along with his running back, they are just breaking tackles as a duo. They're not going down after first contact. And when you watch, takes it, finds his hole.
And the offensive line creating a huge hole that you could almost drive a car through there. Tackled by number 3, Aiden Ashcraft of the Hurricanes. But it's going to be 1st and goal from about the 1.5, it looks like.
Such an impressive drive from Springboro.
And Murdoch's going to keep it himself, and he's going to walk in untouched from 1.5 yards out. And Springboro takes the lead for the first time, 6-0.
That was great. Once again, Jared,
That
it's an
offensive
offensive line
right.
just clearing holes.
They got the push here. You're going to see in the replay. And look at the offensive line has pushed everybody into the into the end zone. And Murdoch goes in untouched for 6.
When you watch the replay, you can see there's at least 3 guys like in the letters, and that's just too deep if you're going to play defense on the goal line against a team that has not thrown a pass yet this season or this game.
Now Springboro coming out for the extra point. Looks like they're going to go ahead and go for 2.
Let Murdoch keep it, or are you giving it to Deuce?
And it looks like Deuce is going to get the carry. Deuce gets in, and Deuce will get the extra point.
Another hard run and another big hole for the offense of Springboro. Great start for the Panthers.
And that's going to extend the lead 7-0. 4:52 left in the first half of our Bantam WOJFC Super Bowl here. And Calhoun basically went in untouched too, like Murdoch.
Yep, he wasn't touched until he got to the goal line. So.
And Springboro's offensive line dominant on that drive.
And now really, the coaches are trying to get the crowd into it.
And really what happened is that pumped up, or that the big play on that drive was Deuce Calhoun, where he was stopped on 3rd and long and got it to be able to get him for a 4th and inches.
Yep, you got to keep coming against these guys. They've shown here early that if you give them any room, they're gonna kill you. And they're taking these gaps and just exploiting them for 8-10 yard runs.
Springboro, between Murdoch and Calhoun, gashing this Wilmington defense. And now Wilmington's going to get their possession, their second of the game, and it's going to be a handoff to Harpin in the backfield. Flag is going to come in.
And we got some laundry on the field, so we will see what that is. And it's going to be a hold on Wilmington. Let's see if we can see it when we look at the replay. Maybe a block in the back, maybe, on number 90. I'm not sure.
So it's going to be 1st and 20 now. So Wilmington coming out, and 2nd and 20 seems like it's a lot for the Bantam division. And it's going to be a high pitch back out to the running back, Harpin. Harpin making moves. Harpin is wide open. There's a flag on the play, and Harpin's going to be gone.
He's going to take that. What is
that,
that,
that's
Jared?
actually Aiden Ashcraft, and that's going to be about a 75-yard run.
What a run by the young man. But let's see what the flag is.
And this is going to be so demoralizing if that's a flag against Wilmington.
You got to hope, if you're Wilmington, that that's a defensive penalty of some sort.
So the touchdown will count, and Wilmington will score on a 70-yard touchdown run by Aiden Ashcraft.
You watch here on the replay. He cuts straight up the middle, and then one cut straight to the outside, man, and he's gone. What a great play. What a great vision from such a young player.
And here we were talking about Springboro's offensive line, and Wilmington's offensive line came out with a huge block there to the outside and a blocking by the receivers to give Ashcraft the lanes.
For sure, Jared. That was a very well blocked play. Who knows? Maybe one of the guys over there on their sideline was hearing us talk about how good they're off.
And Wilmington's going to throw for the extra point, and it is good.
What a catch.
What a sling.
By Braxton Reed.
What a pass by the quarterback for Wilmington.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Wilmington is back on top.
Number 6, Joseph Bennett, just slings it out there to the outside.
What a nice throw.
And we're about 3 minutes away from halftime, and what a way now Springboro is going to get the ball for their third drive of the game.
We've had an exciting second quarter here, Jared.
Yeah, defensive stalemate in the first quarter, and now an offensive onslaught between these two running offenses.
Had 2 different fourth downs picked up for Springboro last possession, and then you get an offensive penalty for Wilmington, and then you just toss it back to that great running back, and he's just gone. Great response by Wilmington.
And so far, the Bantam division is living up to what the 6th grade championship game was about.
For sure. And then Springboro is going to take a timeout.
I believe that's their final timeout.
So you got about 2.5 minutes left here in the half, Jared. What are you expecting to see from Springboro?
I would assume it's either going to be in the hands of Murdoch or Calhoun, but you never know. Maybe Springboro's saving a pass for maybe a drive like this. 2.5 minutes, no timeouts now.
Pull a Fairmont, not throw the ball at all, and then throw it twice in the whole game. Get touchdowns out of it.
And you see, it looks like Wilmington's not going to play a prevent defense. They're going to come up and play, and they're going to stack the box. As you're going to see Calhoun or Murdoch in the backfield split with, looks like Calhoun, and I cannot see the other number 2 is left.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like you got to if you're going to stop.
And Murdoch's going to run to the outside, breaks the defender's ankles there, and gets tackled out of bounds at the 35. So gain of nothing on the play.
And after the big run on offense, Aiden Ashcraft comes in for the tackle. But there's more laundry on the field.
It looks like it's going to be holding against Springboro. Penalties declined, so it'll be 2nd and long. And I think they declined the penalty to keep the clock running. So 2nd and 10 here as the clock is winding. Under 2 minutes now left in the first half of the Bantam WOJFC Super Bowl.
A lot of motion here on this play for Springboro.
Murdoch's going to go under center. Murdoch's going to long hand off to Calhoun. Calhoun cuts it, and he gains only about 2 or 3 on the play as we approach a minute and a half left, and it's going to be 3rd and about 7.
If you are Wilmington, this is a time where you got to lock it up. You don't want for them to get the lead back going into the second half.
And Wilmington does have 2 timeouts.
So if they're able to get a couple of stops, we will see.
You would think if they get, Calhoun, a long handoff to Calhoun, and he is wrapped up in the backfield, and this Wilmington defense has woken up here late in this second quarter.
Yes, they have, Jared. They struggled early. They struggled in the first quarter, and they struggled early in the second quarter. But on this drive, they are locked in.
47 seconds left and counting. The officials are going to stop play.
It looks like someone needs to tie their shoe.
They're going to put about 3.2 seconds left back on the clock. They're actually going to put it all the way back at the 58, so maybe Wilmington
did 12.
Maybe Wilmington did call that timeout. And Springboro's going to punt.
So now Wilmington has a chance to grow on their lead.
So Wilmington is going to start this drive at the 38 with 43.6 seconds left.
So, Jared, are you giving it back to Aiden Ashcraft?
I would assume you would have to try and get it. I mean, that was a lot. That last touchdown he had was a high pitch to the outside, so maybe try and getting it to him in a pitch. As Wilmington is going to take a timeout here, maybe draw up a play, talk about it here. But you would assume Ashcraft has probably got to touch it here for the Hurricanes. I mean, he erupted through from the blocks of the offensive and defensive, or the offensive line and receivers.
The biggest run I've ever seen in a Pee Wee game.
Bennett's going to go in shotgun high snap, and he's going to take the direct snap and going to run right up the middle.
On the field.
And he's going to be out to the 45. And a flag on the play, so let's see.
So we will see what the flag is for.
And that was actually Ashcraft with the carry, tackled by Calhoun.
Looks like it might be on Wilmington.
Let's go get flag happy now.
And they're going to call a false start or delay of game. Let's call it illegal formation. I'll get it.
An illegal shift against the Hurricanes. I would have called it a false start instead. You see the offensive line
for sure
moving up and down there, but now 37 seconds left and counting. And you're going to see
Joseph Bennett
under center, yep. And he's going to look at that high pitch out to Ashcraft. Ashcraft is going to get to the outside. Ashcraft, no blocking out in front of him. He's at the 45-50, and he's going to pull up and go out of bounds with about 11.8 seconds left from midfield.
Maybe that's where he wants the pitch, Jared, because every single time he's made that pitch, it's been high. But Ashcraft has been able to corral those pitches and then turn them into big runs. That one goes for 20.
So on 2 plays, Ashcraft has 90 rushing yards.
Got a couple of impressive young running backs in this game.
But 11.8 seconds left. You would have to assume probably Wilmington might have to attempt a pass here. And we saw Bennett can sling it when they went for that extra point.
For sure. He delivered a nice pass, like right on target to his receiver. So let's see if he'll see another one of those.
And an end-around handoff underneath, a halfback direction. And that's going to go out to about the 42, or the 46.
Is that what they tried to do, Jared?
It looked like they tried to do a halfback misdirection carry, but it didn't really work out, and that's how the first half is going to end in the Bantam WOJFC Super Bowl. It's going to be tied at 7 here.
Nelson. Gain of
Very
12
good
on
all
the play.
around.
Good.
And good blocking by the offensive line. We were talking a lot in the first half about how Springboro's offensive lines was creating holes big enough for cars to run through. Well, that time,
Ashcraft just plowed through.
he was a snowplow on that one. Oh, and there's a fumble. Oh, well, they call it dead.
So it's going to be a loss of 1 on the play, it looks like. So Wilmington coming back. Wilmington trying to add to their 1-point lead.
We're at the 46-yard line.
Ashcraft, that last carry put him well over 100 yards.
You know, he had the one big one, and then he's ripped off a couple of other good-sized chunks.
And
It's been
again,
hard for them to
that
stop the
high
pitch.
pitch out to Ashcraft gets around the defenders, stiff arms that one into the ground,
Right to the
across
ground.
midfield. Still on his feet, Ashcraft not going down, and Ashcraft will run in to the end zone for a huge touchdown run.
His name is Aiden Ashcraft. Maybe we should call him Adrian Peterson.
Right.
He was just bouncing off defenders on that play. There is a flag.
And it's against Springboro, so the touchdown will count. Ashcraft with his second long touchdown run of this game.
That one for 54 yards. You see the high pitch on the replay, and then look.
Well, here's the defender at midfield. Yeah, down you go. And
Making
then
it look easy.
He just bobs and weaves, heads up play to stay on his feet there, and just turns on the afterburners, and he's gone from 20.
The speed, just so lethal. And so now Wilmington is going to take a 14-7 lead. Next up is the 2-point conversion attempt.
So Wilmington coming out. Last time they had the conversion attempt, they threw it, and you're going to see Ashcraft going to line up in the Wildcat. Ashcraft going to roll to the right, and he's going to stiff arm that defender. Spin moves, cuts it back in. Ashcraft is in.
Aiden Ashcraft with the flashy moves here in the early portions of the second half. You know, Jared, when I got here this morning, If you would have told me that the 2 longest runs of the day would have been by the first and second graders, I would have told you you're crazy.
Look at this, spin move and stiff arm again for Ashcraft.
And if you see on the replay, the snap was high. So I'm just going to go with this kid likes the ball high.
And now that Wilmington adds to the lead, it's going to be 15-7. And now let's see if Springboro can answer back. So now Springboro huddled up. I mean, the offense has moved the ball well. You need to talk to the defense about stopping number 3 Ashcraft for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I really think if you're Springboro, he's the only guy you have to worry about because he's been so explosive.
I don't think anybody else has touched the ball. Murdoch going to hand it off to Calhoun. Calhoun cuts it out. He's at the 35, and that's where he will be halted.
And once again, Deuce Calhoun, he sees defenders in the backfield and just makes them miss, and he's able to pick up 3 or 4 yards on the play. This kid is so hard to bring down.
Harpin with the tackle there for the Hurricanes.
But I guess you could say that about both running backs. Watch it. There's a guy 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and good blocking.
That might have been number 2, Blake Fraley. And now Murdoch's going to keep it. He's going to run up the middle. He's going to cut to the outside with the blockers. He's going to change direction, and he still gets about a gain of 3 on the play.
You know, Jared, watching these guys run, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Le'Veon Bell because, you know, when you're watching the pros, everyone talks so much about his patience and how he just sits there behind the offensive line just waiting for the hole. And you see a lot of that here in this game where the runners, they're very patient. They're just waiting to see something, and then boom, they find the hole and they explode through.
Especially Murdoch. He is almost at a standstill until he sees a hole develop, or he's going to turn field and go the other way. Murdoch's going to keep this one. He's going to run right up the middle, and he might be close to the first down. Let's see what the refs spot him. And they're going to signal first down. Yep.
That one was close, but looks like he was able to pick it up, get enough. And yes, on the instant replay, you can see his helmet definitely gets by there.
Number 95, John Keplinger with the tackle there. So Springboro picks up their first down as we approach just about 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Murdoch's going to take the snap.
Hand it
back
off
to Deuce.
And that is Deuce's shortest run of the game. He's tackled for about a 2-yard loss. And the offensive line that we talked about so much in that second quarter is falling apart here on this drive.
Yeah, they have not done a very good job here early in the third quarter. They're just getting beat. And there's only so much that you as a running back can do. So let's call it 2nd and 12 from the 38-yard line. Murdoch is going to take the snap. He's going to cut up field and just slowly working his way upfield, finding his holes, just being very patient, and he's able to pick up about 5 yards on the play. Okay, we're going to call it 3 yards.
Right, the refs were standing at 2 different spots.
Oh, he dropped the ball. When you look at the replay, I didn't notice that.
And you see Wilmington's coach is kind of mad that the team didn't notice that he picked it up. So Murdoch kept running, but without the ball, as we're about 4 minutes left here in the third quarter. It's 3rd and about 9. Murdoch's going to scramble to the left. He's going to cut it back in, and he has tackled. What a hit. And I believe that was Ashcraft come up with that hit.
Aiden Ashcraft has been all over the field on both sides of the field for Wilmington in this game. It has been impressive to watch this young man play.
You see there, watch him just come up and just plow Murdoch into the ground. 4th and 10, and I think Springboro is going to punt. So Wilmington with all momentum on their side.
You know, it looked like early it was going to be a defensive battle, Jared, but ever since the second quarter started, there's been nonstop ball movement for really both teams until now, as Springboro has struggled on this opening drive.
And you're giving the ball back to the Hurricanes with a lot of momentum on their side.
Yeah, and with that number 3, Mr. Ashcraft, you just can't stop right now.
So Wilmington set to start their second drive of the second half.
Bennett under center.
They're going to fake the pitch to Ashcraft, and they're going to hand it off to Malik Nance. And Nance maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
He's going to be able to make one guy miss, but then the help comes in quickly. As you watch, really good fake there. And Nance, he's able to shake number 41. That's Parker Yarv, but the reinforcements got there very quickly.
We are approaching 2 minutes, or 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Wilmington, it looks like maybe they get them a gain of 1.
Bennett under center. He will take the snap.
He's going to fake it and roll to the left, and he's going to make 2 defenders miss, and he's going to be tackled behind with a flag on the play.
And that actually was not Bennett. That was Benson Harpin. Another flag down on the field. So we will wait to see what the call is.
Tackle on the play for the Springboro was Benjamin Nelson, number 17. Looks like it's going to be holding against Wilmington. Penalties declined. It's because it's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 8.
So if you're even going to think about going for it right now, if you're Wilmington, you got to pick up at least 6 yards on this play. But if you're able to move the ball down the field on this possession, you can possibly end the game very early.
Quarterback's under center. Pitch out to Ashcraft. Ashcraft, and they're going to blow the play dead, and I believe it's a false start. So it's going to be a gain of 5 on the encroachment penalty against Springboro. So now the playbook's wide open here for Wilmington.
Yeah, that turns a hard 3rd and 8 into a much easier 3rd and 3.
So now 3rd and 3. Almost assume number 3 is going to get the ball here for the Hurricanes.
As Ashcraft is lined up in the backfield. Bennett under center.
And another, what a one-handed pluck out of the air. We're going to watch this in the replay. And just, what a heads-up play. Watch him do it one-handed and pulls it back into his body for a gain of 2. 4th and 1, and Wilmington looks like they're going to line up to go for it.
That is really good awareness by first grader, man.
And if you're Springboro, you have got to get this stop here. As this is Wilmington, looks like they're going to let it go down to the end of the quarter. 17 seconds left.
But yeah, Jared, I definitely agree. You can't afford to let
I know
Wilmington score again. And Wilmington, they're going to end up taking a timeout.
The play clock was down.
10.9 on the clock.
So this is going to be a huge play for both sides.
And definitely the last play of the third quarter.
Because if Wilmington can pick up this first down, the way they've been able to take time off the clock these two drives they had for the quarter.
They might be able to end it on this possession.
Right, they
just
could
hang
hold
on
on
to the ball.
So here we go. Let's see if Wilmington is able, maybe they can just draw off Springboro offsides like Springboro did earlier in the game. 4th and 1. Quarterback's going to hand it off to Ashcraft, and he plows through for a first down.
Good hard run by Aiden Ashcraft. He just takes it straight up the middle. He's able to push his way for a first down.
And that is going to be the end of the third quarter.
And Springboro just so far not able to slow him down.
Wilmington adds a touchdown and 2-point conversion to extend the lead 15-7 on their opening drive. So Springboro has got to force Wilmington to go 3 and out here to start the fourth quarter. Or if not, Springboro could be looking at this being over really quick.
Still a full 10 minutes left, but when you don't really throw the ball, you practically have a running clock. And it's hard to, it's going to be hard for them to get the ball back and then march downfield and, you know, make this game last any longer than just the fourth quarter.
Right.
I mean,
the 6th grade WOJFC Super Bowl went to double overtime. Springboro's got to force. Springboro's hoping for a turnover is almost what you got to hope for if you're a Panthers in the stands here.
For sure, Jared. You'd think it'd probably have to come from somebody other than Ashcraft because he has just been unstoppable.
And he's got the carry. Inside handoff to the outside. Ashcraft makes another defender miss. Stiff arm. Ashcraft cuts it back in, and he is tackled at the knees right at the 30.
Pain. Oh, well, never mind. He looked like he was in pain, but then he pops right back up.
And that little kids can pop up. They don't feel no pain.
Ain't that the truth, Jared? Oh, I don't know. Now looks like he's limping off the field, and that could be very bad for Wilmington. And I hope the young kid's okay. As you see, after the stiff arm, one more guy to make miss, and boom, gets popped right in the knee. That one does not feel good.
So after the big first down run by Ashcraft, Wilmington set up at the 37 or the 34.
Bennett under center.
Bennett's going to hand off. He was almost tackled before he handed it off.
A good second effort by Benson Harper, but even better defense by Springboro as they allowed him to go nowhere. He's going to look like he's going to pick up 2. And number 34, Carter Mullins, first one in there.
And that
on
is
the tackle.
That's what the Panthers defense needed. They need to get the stops on the running plays. Without Ashcraft on the field, it looks like they can maybe do it. You're going to see Bennett go under center again. Bennett's going to hand it off, it looks like, to number 2, Harpin.
And at first on that play, Jared, it looks like he wasn't going to have much room, but it looks like he's going to be able to pick up a gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. When you look, it looks really congested in there, but he just keeps leash turning.
Mm-hmm. Looked like he was finally tackled. That looked like he was finally tackled by the quarterback. Murdoch in there on the stop, maybe.
Well, Jared, you know, you got to love guys that can play both sides of the field.
And now you look who comes out onto the field, and Wilmington applauds as Ashcraft comes back out onto the field for this 3rd and 7.
That is a great sign if you're Wilmington.
And Springboro needs to force a stop here with we approach 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter. If they could stop it here and force Wilmington to either go for it or, I would assume, maybe punt, try and pin them deep. And it's going to be a high pitch out to Ashcraft, and Ashcraft breaks 2 tackles, and he will be stopped at the 20 or at the 30. So about a gain of 3 on the play, and it's going to be 4th down.
You know, Jared, I would think that high pitch would make it hard to then focus on the field, on the defenders in front of you, but every single time he gets that high pitch, he just very calmly and collectively just gathers the ball and just he's able to navigate for 4 or 5 yards after breaking a couple more tackles.
So 4th and about 4 from the 30-yard line. 4th and 5, maybe. As we are under 7 minutes left, so Springboro has got to get the stop here if they want to have a try to have a chance. Ashcraft is going to get the carry, and he's going to bounce to the outside. Ashcraft stiff-armed. Ashcraft breaks the tackle, breaks another. He's at the 15, 10, and Ashcraft is going to be in for his 3rd score of the game for the Hurricanes.
What an impressive young man, Jared. He has just been unstoppable tonight.
And you see the Wilmington fan base just gets ecstatic as another huge 30-yard run for Ashcraft.
Well, they know what's going on, Jared. They know they probably just won this game. And you see Ashcraft just able to stay on his feet, bring multiple tackles, bounce it to the outside, make one more guy miss at the 20, and then he's home free, Jared.
And what Springboro or what Wilmington is doing, Springboro's stacking the box. So as long as you can get outside the tackles like they have been with Ashcraft, and you can stretch the field, you can get away with an easy touchdown run for 30 yards.
Definitely, Jared. There hasn't been too much up the middle for the Hurricanes in this game, but the outside lanes have been wide open all game long.
Now Wilmington on to go for 2.
Score is currently 21-7.
Bennett, an end around, hands it off to number 20. He gets it to the outside, and he will be stopped. What a closing tackle speed there by the Panthers.
Great stop by Deuce Calhoun.
Calhoun with the closing speed. I thought he was going to get in.
You got to love that tackle by the little guy. I mean, that is such concentration, so much effort.
And Jackson Clance probably thought he was going to be in, and Calhoun just comes up and knocks him out of the way.
Out of nowhere, man. He was not in the picture, and then, boom, split second later, got the tackle. The speed of this young man is impressive. So now time running out for the Panthers, but they got a shot.
Right, they got to score 2 touchdowns in about 6.5 minutes, so it's definitely a hard feat to accomplish.
But if they're able to get the quarterback, Cooper Murdoch, and then Calhoun, if they're able to get those two going again, they'll have a good shot. But that's saying a lot because this Hurricane defense has been very stout in the second half.
Calhoun's going to get the carry. He's going to stop and cut field, breaks 2 tackles, and then he's going to be hit.
And, that's really been the story of the second half, Jared. Even though Deuce Calhoun is still making a lot of guys miss.
The offensive line isn't making the holes like they did in the first half.
That, and I just feel like the Hurricanes are tuned in on defense like a lot better here in the second half.
And really, granted, with the ability of these 2 running backs, Springboro can score on 1 play if they could break a tackle.
For sure.
As we're under 5.5 minutes left, though, so time ticking away here in the Bantam WOJFC Super Bowl. Springboro trying to make a late effort, and Murdoch's going to get it and run to the right. And he's going to cut it back out. He's at the 50. He's going to cut it back out. He's at the 40. He has the blocker out in front. He's got one trailing. He's at the 20. Stops, and he's going to cut it back out. And he's going to be tackled at about the 17. So we were just talking about one big play, and you can change it.
And their 2 start players, Cooper Murdoch and Deuce Calhoun, they are the key to this comeback if it's going to happen. And as you see, Murdoch, he keeps it on that play. And 3 or 4 different times, he cuts back,
stops,
finds
cuts
new
field,
lanes.
And he's making his own lane. But there was one time right at the very beginning of the drive or the play, he was just standing there.
It's just the patience and the
awareness,
the decisiveness, and the awareness. Like once he finds his hole, he's not hesitating. He's going through it, and then he's looking at the next level of the defense, trying to make another guy miss.
Murdoch's going to keep it again here, and he's going to cut it to the outside. Stiff arms one defender, and maybe he should have went out of bounds there, but he's going to stay in bounds and go up 2 more yards.
And here's the replay of the long run as Murdoch breaks multiple tackles and just makes multiple guys miss.
Look at number 19 or maybe 18, Camden Long or Conley Hill out there providing blocks. So we approach just under 4 minutes left. Springboro has got to score quickly.
Murdoch back under.
Murdoch's going to roll to the left. He makes one defender miss. He makes another. No, he doesn't get that one to miss. The ball fumbled, but it goes out of bounds. It's going to be 3rd and about 2.
And you just see these 2 talented players here in the offense, play after play, making guys miss, keeping the play alive. But just a little bit too much there for Murdoch. And I don't know, he might have actually fumbled that one, Jared.
It does look like he was not down yet, but the ref signaled down as we approach 3:15 left in the 4th quarter of the Bantam WOJFC Super Bowl championship game. Calhoun's going to get the carry right up the middle. Calhoun bursts through. He will have the first down to about the 3.
What a great push by not only the offensive line, but Deuce Calhoun. You see, he gets hit at about the 6, and then he drives the ball all the way down to the 2-yard line. You can hear the Wilmington fan base imploring
Murdoch goes right in, and Murdoch is in from 2 yards out. Murdoch, both rushing touchdowns for the Panthers here today.
And that one just made it interesting, Jared. Oh, I don't know. He lost the ball on that.
It looked like the ball was already across when he reached. Let's take a look here. He's going down.
Stretches it out, and I think he doesn't have it. I think that's a fumble, Jared. But in Pee Wee football, you don't have challenges, so the touchdown will stand.
Springboro on for the extra point. If they make it, it could cut it to a 7-point game. Hand off to Calhoun, run right up the middle, and he gets in. So 2:42 left, and Springboro cuts it to a 7-point game.
They've opened the door. And Springboro still has all 3 of their timeouts, Jared.
You're right. So this is going to be interesting to see how Wilmington does. You've got to not let Ashcraft break the tackles like you have all game so far.
So how are you going to do that, though, Jared? He's just been unstoppable. Even if you get guys to him, he's just shrugging them off and just picking up extra yards.
I would think you would have to probably stack one side of the line is the only thing I can think of.
You'll hear him talk.
He's a difficult player to defend because, like we've been talking about, if you fill the box, he's just going to go to the outside. But I'm sure if you have your guys waiting on the outside for him, trying to take away the edge, then he's just going to run right up the middle. And you just can't give the guy any open room.
No.
You got to get him down.
And who knows, we've seen those high pitch outs. Maybe one of those can turn into a fumble.
It definitely is a dangerous part about the high pitch.
And a flag on the play. Ashcraft breaks one tackle. He's to the 40, 45, 50, 50, down to the 40.
Ashcraft is going to be gone.
30. And he's tackled.
All the way down to the 19-yard line, but the flag is all the way back at the 28.
And I think that one's going to be a false start. And it looks like it was a false start against Wilmington.
That's a rough break if you're Wilmington. That one right there could have just sealed it.
So that's, well, a minute 54 left now. False starts, they'll be 1st and 15. But with the way Ashcraft just slashed through the defense, I don't think it's going to matter.
You just got to give it back to him. And, I mean, that definitely hurts, but if you're Wilmington. But for Springboro, that is a saving grace. Now you actually have a shot to stop this guy. Been very unsuccessful at that so far here. But we shall see what is in store.
A minute 50 left and counting.
You see a coach run up and make sure his guys are in proper position. Bennett is going to take the snap, hands it off to Ashcraft again.
And Ashcraft is... Oh, he gets out of that tackle. He's going to go to the other side of the field. Ashcraft's at the 30. He breaks that tackle, 50, and plows over for a first down and probably the championship ceiling first down run there.
You know, I called him Adrian Peterson earlier, and that was another Adrian Peterson type play. Just refusing to quit. Decides, I'm not going to go down. And he's able to bounce it out to the other side of the field. Killer stiff arm, man. Just pushes him right to the ground. Gonna get pulled down at the 49-yard line.
Springboro calls a timeout with 1:24 left, but at this point it's almost too little, too late.
The only shot Springboro really has right now is if they can force a turnover.
Right. They've got to force that turnover.
And it kind of looks like Wilmington has decided I think we're done with the pitches. As the last couple plays, we've seen the handoff. And I think the coaches are just kind of thinking, let's just be safe. I know that might be the place where he likes it. He likes the high pitch, but let's just be safe and let's end this thing. Let's get the dub.
So out of the Springboro timeout here, a minute 24 left in the WOJFC Super Bowl for the Bantam division. And if you're watching live on YouTube, the next game is going to be a battle of Miamisburg, as Miamisburg Blue will take on Miamisburg White.
Now 1st and 10 at the 49. Bennett under center.
Bennett,
Fake pitch.
And that one's going to be I thought it was going to be a tackle in the backfield. And that one, Harpin will be wrapped up. And Springboro calls another timeout quickly. And like you said, Springboro had all 3 timeouts.
And Parker Yars with the great closing speed to be able to get the tackle. And it was a good fake because if you look at the replay, the Springboro defense, they were all on the other side of the field. But they were able to get there just in time.
1:11 left. And Springboro still has 1 timeout.
With one more stop, this game could get very interesting, Jared.
All right, so 2nd and 13. Do you go back to the Ashcraft pitch? Maybe try and get the first down and just seal it.
I would probably think so, Jared. He's just been so effective.
You can see the way they got the blocking set up with the 2 running backs to that side, and they're going to just do a long pitch to Ashcraft. Ashcraft breaks 1 tackle. He's at the 45. He breaks it. It has the first down. Stays in bounds.
And Ashcraft does not want to go
Still
down.
go. Oh, I think the refs marked him out.
They're going to call him out at the 28-yard line. And when you watch the replay, makes one guy miss in the backfield, and that's just been the story of the game. This Ashcraft and Calhoun, each for both, one for each team. They've just been able to find separation and make guys miss all game long.
And there's nobody keeping stats, but I would assume Ashcraft, the way he's been running today, has probably accumulated close to 200 yards.
I would say the same thing, Jared. He's just been a workhorse tonight.
All 3 touchdowns for the Hurricanes.
And all 3 of them were big run plays.
Right, there was a 70-yard run, about a 45-yard run, and about a probably close to a 35, 40-yard run too.
Do the math, that's almost 150 on 3
on just
3
touchdown runs. We've seen him, he's had at least, we've seen a 60-yard run that didn't go for a touchdown but got him set up.
Now Bennett.
And they're going to go
take a knee.
A victory formation, and that one is going to do it. Your Wilmington Hurricanes are going to win the WOJFC Bantam Super Bowl Championship as they defeat the Springboro Panthers 21-14 in an exciting game in a battle of running backs.
For sure, Jared. And I must say, congratulations to the Wilmington Bantam team. They played exceptional in this game, specifically after the first quarter. It looked like they might have had some early jitters, but then they were able to shake that, and, I mean, their offense was just unstoppable. And the defense did a very good job on the other end, slowing down.
Making the corrections.
Yes, making the corrections and slowing down Springboro and Deuce Calhoun.
And we're going to throw it down to the field for the trophy presentation, but we'll be back for the next game as Miamisburg Blue is going to take on Miamisburg White.
Right at where?
Like, you see where they're all
Right here?
And the players for the 2019 Super Bowl Hurricanes. Number 2, Mason Parker. Number 3, Adrian Ashcraft.
Oh, okay.